Welcome to Stager Savvy, insider secrets to stage your home and sell it for more. My name is Stephanie. This is the podcast where we bring you the latest tips, tricks, and expert insights from the world of professional staging. And I'm joined by my friend and fellow staging expert, Kandice.
Hi, everyone. We may be competitors in the Denver market, but we believe in abundance and collaboration over competition. And we're here to share our collective knowledge with you. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn from the experts. This is Stager Savvy.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, Kandice.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited about this topic today. We're going to talk about common mistakes sellers make. So if you're trying to stage your own place, there's a lot of these, right? People just do it a little bit wrong. So we're going to talk about all of those things. So it's going to be good. Let's see. So jumping right in, first thing, let's talk clutter, personalization, things like that. So first mistake I see is they leave too much clutter. They don't pack quite enough up.
Correct.
So, I mean, sellers need to be able to see, buyers need to be able to see that space. And when there's less stuff in it, it's going to feel bigger. So packing up the clutter, nobody wants to see all of your extra stuff. Pack it up, get it out of the way.
Pre-pack. You're moving anyway, right?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
And personalization. It's amazing how many people will leave their family photos up and their mementos and their Bibles and their, all of those things that buyers don't want to see you in the house. They want to see themselves in the house.
Right. Totally neutral. Yeah. One thing I tell people a lot, especially with whether it's in an office and it's their diploma or a T-ball picture with the kids, buyers are going to see that. And then all of a sudden they're interested in, oh, that's my alma mater, or, oh, my kid played T-ball for that team. Right. And they're thinking about those things that have nothing to do with the house, and they need to be focused on the bones of the house. That's why they're there. So we don't want any of those distractions. The flip side I see, besides leaving too much clutter, is a lot of times people think they're doing me a favor before I show up, and they start packing and they pack too much. I'm sure you see that too, right?
Sure.
We want some stuff around. We want mirrors. We want accessories that are large size, not the little trinkets. Go ahead and pack that. But those larger accessories, we can use that stuff throughout the staging, or if you're staging for yourself, you can use those things. It doesn't need to be a clean slate and be sterile and cold, right? We need enough so that it feels warm and inviting still.
Yeah, because otherwise buyers aren't feeling the love when they walk into the house. It's just a sterile environment. And really, as we always say, it comes down to emotions and capturing emotions and seeing themselves living in the home. So all those things do add to that, rather than just leaving it completely sterile with no art, no decor, no nothing.
Right. Yeah, 100%. People are buying on emotions, right? They have to feel good in the space. And if it feels like a hospital, nobody wants to buy that, right?
No, certainly not a hospital.
I mean, sterile. That's always what I think of.
Yeah, exactly.
So we talked about depersonalizing, neutral. So how do we create that neutral environment with, depersonalizing and pre-packing and all of those things? What else?
Well, I think you did it. I think you hit it on the head, taking away all the personal things, the photos, but leaving the emotional connections, the art, the mirrors, the neutral furniture and pillows. If it's not neutral, it probably should be packed.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Perfect.
Gotten rid of. Yes.
Yeah. Packed. Yes. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. So how about furniture arrangement? I know a lot of people make the mistake of arranging the furniture wrong. So let's talk about that. Like, what are the right ways to arrange furniture?
Well, I think you definitely have to take into consideration the photographer's viewpoint and where they're going to be shooting the pictures. Because remember, this is all about the photos online, the marketing photos for this house. So you have to take that into consideration. Most people, it's uncomfortable to walk into the back of a couch, for instance, and you don't want to put furniture in such a way that you have to weave through it to get through the space. You want it to feel open and welcoming. So I think having the couch facing where the photographer would stand and building
like it's welcoming us into that space,
yes,
right? It's
and having, my friend Bobby McGrath always says, when you think about the photos, you want a strong right margin, a strong left margin, an open space, open floor plan in the middle, so that is the photo that you're seeing is very welcoming. And like you just did, I don't want to show my arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to think about what it's going to look like in the photos. I tell my clients that all the time. Like, the recommendations I'm making are not really for you. They're for the photos. They're for visitors that walk into this home and how it makes them feel.
Right.
You're just here taking up space. Like, it's not your home anymore. It's a place that it's a product. We've talked about that before, right? You want to get the highest price for it. So you have to make it so that it's welcoming and inviting and make it look that way for the pictures, because everybody's starting their search online. Everybody's looking at photos first.
So you don't want it to feel crowded. You don't want a bed on the wall as you're walking in. You want to see that bed as the first thing that you see as you come in.
Right. So, we don't want to look into the side of the bed, where the bed needs to be opposite the door.
Right.
So that again, it's welcoming us into the room. Like, I'm a bedroom. Here I am. Aren't I grand? Right.
Exactly. So get rid of the extra furniture that's crowding. Don't take out too much, but in staging, less is more. So as long as they have a visual reference for the size of the room and what furniture can fit in there, additional pieces really can go.
Yeah, we need the basics, like a bedroom. We need a bed, side tables, maybe a dresser.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
And in like a family room, I'm not even always staging with side tables, because that's staging to live, and we're staging to sell. So we don't need all those extra pieces of furniture necessarily, especially if the room is on the smaller size. You want less is more again, so that the space feels bigger. So you're going to choose a smaller sofa versus, a big sectional maybe for that space, so that it feels nice and big and open.
Yeah. And if somebody's staging their own home and maybe they have that sectional, maybe you take part of it out so that it doesn't feel like a big giant sectional. It just feels like maybe now we can turn it into a sofa, or whatever. Less space. Pay attention to how much room you have.
Yeah. Flow is important.
Flow is so. We need space to walk through and to guide people through the home and how it feels and all of those things. Walkways are what we need, at least 36 inches. And then I know it's smaller, like if we have a coffee table or whatever, but make sure people can walk through all of the places they need to walk through to get somewhere else in the home.
Yes. Just recently I had an instance that this came into play. It was an older gentleman who was moving to assisted living, I guess, and he has a beautiful house in Castle Rock. He's the only person living in it, and the furniture had been the way it had been forever since they moved into the house. And they had this spectacular window that overlooked fabulous open space, and they had a really dated couch in front of it. So it was a wine color, from like early 80s.
Oh man.
Possibly 70s. Anyway, it was kind of blocking the window. So when you came in, your view went straight to the old couch instead of where we wanted to, and that's out that window. So we ended up turning the couch so that it faced the big fireplace, which you do want your furniture or how you're setting up your room to show or view the accent or what's the word I'm trying to say?
Focal point.
The fixed asset of the house. So the furniture is one of those, or the fireplace. I'm all over the place today. So we move the couch out, put it so that it's facing the fireplace, and now you're drawn into the room and you're drawn straight over to those amazing windows to look out. So that it's really important to think about those things as you're staging a property or staging your own home.
Yeah. Where are buyers' eyes automatically going to go? And you have to sort of direct them there with the way the furniture's arranged.
Right. He also had a wine-colored wall in the master bedroom, same view, big windows, and the wall of those windows was painted wine red. Now that in itself is a time-stamped color, right? But then that, again, the eyes went straight to that color instead of out the window. So luckily he was willing to work with me, and I suggested paint. And so we neutralized that. Good. Boy, that house sold right away for lots of money.
I bet it did. Yeah, those distractions are such a distraction. We don't want that.
And people living in their homes don't notice those things.
That's right, especially somebody like that's been there for a really long time. Like, this is how it is. And they just sort of become blind to all of it. Like, it's just how they're not actually looking at it. It's just the way it is. Yeah, it's hard for people to see through that sometimes, which is why it is hard if you're trying to stage your own home. Like, you have to look at it objectively.
Yeah.
Maybe bring in a third party, because maybe you can't see all of those things on your own. But you want to try. We want to give you the tips.
So going back to that couch that was blocking the window, that couch was from early 80s. And it looked tired and dated, which, in my opinion, and as stagers, it lowered the perceived value of the room.
For sure.
Instead, this was a $1-something million house, and that just lowered the perceived value, as did the rest of the furniture in the room. So we want that perceived value high. And when you have time-stamped or dated furniture or things that just look old and grungy, that lowers the perceived value. And don't you want to make as much as you can on your home?
Right. Most people do, that I know anyway.
Yep. So mismatched furniture, time-stamped furniture really should go, and in place of it should be brought in some more updated looking furniture, because that's going to raise the perceived value in the house.
And just even that in and of itself sort of updates the space.
For sure.
Just furniture, right? So it matters what you've got in there. Oversized mismatched furniture, that's another mistake. People keep the wrong size furniture in there. We kind of talked about that already a little bit. But it's going to make, if your furniture is too big for the room, then the room is going to feel so tiny.
Exactly.
And on the flip side, if you've got a big giant room and you've got this tiny little furniture in there, like, it's just going to look like a dollhouse or something. I don't know. Yeah. But it all needs to be in scale, and it all needs to feel right and feel balanced and all of those things. So things to think about when you're staging. Another mistake sellers make when staging, lighting. They don't have enough lighting. They have the blinds closed, like it's dark in their space. So
big heavy curtains. Yes. Orange light bulbs from the 90s or something that cast that really yellowy orange glow. It just makes the space look tired and dark versus light and fresh. And light bulbs make such a huge difference. And just letting in that natural light. Open the blinds. Take the blinds out if they're heavy, dated. Or the curtains.
It's
amazing how many people don't want to take their curtains down, even though they're not going to be living there anymore.
Right.
But they think their curtains are adding value, when in reality, they're blocking the light. And a lot of them are heavy and faded and dated, and take them out. Let the light in.
Let the light in. Let's see the natural light.
And it makes the space bigger. Light coming in windows makes the space bigger. So
Yes.
we want them to feel like the house is actually big, not small.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I had another thought. I can't remember what it was now. Doesn't
Sorry.
matter. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It was like along the same lines, like lighting and light bulbs and, the light and bright paint color, like lighting makes a big, lamps is what I was going to say, like layered lighting throughout. So if you've got lamps on side tables, now we have the overhead lights, maybe we have a ceiling fan light, and maybe we have some lamps. And so now we've got these different layers, and that just makes it feel cozy and homey too. People love
Gosh, and how many people I come across, I'm sure you too, who have these little tiny lamps that have a really dark shade, and then they got the yellow bulb in there, and it's like
all the wrong things.
Like a dark hole, whereas they need some bigger, taller lamps with brighter bulbs. And I see that all the time. In fact, I had a consultation recently, and the lamp was tiny, and the shade was like brown. And this was in the master bedroom, a tiny lamp with a dark shade and a dark bulb. And she actually gave me a lot of pushback on her lamps. And I said, well, we need, a nice big, upscale lamp and a lighter shade. I even suggested maybe if she just changed out the shade. Now, that's not what I would really recommend, but she was really pushing back on a lot of my suggestions.
It's an alternative.
Alternative, just change the shade out if you're really attached to the lamp, even though it wasn't doing any justice to the master bedroom.
Lighting is big, and a lot of people, I feel like, get that wrong.
Especially like in their in the bathrooms where they have their vanities and they've got 5 different lights in there, and I always suggest let's go for just a nice soft white all the way across that matches. Amazing how many people don't have that.
Yeah. Light bulbs have to match. Everybody.
They do.
Make sure you.
In fact, all through
the
house. Now, let me ask you this, Stephanie. I just recently saw a whole conversation on a staging Facebook page, and there was lots of discussion about what light bulbs people use. I myself am very particular about the light bulbs that I use, and I usually go for a nice 3,000 Kelvin or a nice 60 soft white. But I had lots of comments about using daylight, which I don't typically like because it feels so cold. What are your thoughts on that?
I usually tell my clients to go for the soft white, but if they have that bright white throughout the majority already,
right,
go with that and just make everything else match.
Yes.
I can go either way. I mean, I see the argument for the bright white because it does kind of brighten stuff up. Like we're talking about natural light, and people want the light, bright, open, airy, whatever. Right, so it does brighten it a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But the soft white gives you that cozy kind of thing, which plays to their emotions, which is the next thing I want to talk about is the whole ambiance thing. And a lot of times sellers get that wrong. Like they don't think about how the whole space feels.
Right.
And that's part of that. The light bulbs, I mean, it seems like such a weird little thing, but they make such a big difference. And how the house smells, like it needs to smell just fresh and clean.
Neutral.
Like not anything, right?
Yeah.
Maybe fresh flowers on the table. Like that's enough of a scent. It shouldn't smell like bleach. It shouldn't smell like plugins. No plugins. Don't use plugins.
Shouldn't smell like baked cookies.
Right. Yeah, none of that.
Although that's a famous one. I personally think it shouldn't smell like anything. It should just smell clean.
I did have one client tell me that they bought the house that we were now staging for them to sell because when they walked in, it smelled like apple pie or something. She was like, it smelled so good. I just wanted a piece. I was like, really? Okay. I've never heard that anybody else loved that. So, I mean, there are people that love that, but for the most
part, lots of agents do the cookie thing, for their open houses or whatever. So
yeah, I think just fresh, neutral is
Me too.
It's just better. It doesn't need to smell like something.
Right. Because I feel like if it smells like something, they're trying to cover up a smell.
Right. And I think buyers feel that too.
Yeah.
Why is it so smelly? Even if it's a good smell.
Yes.
Right. And we want them to feel, we don't want them to be thinking those things. We want them just to feel calm, just to feel like that whole fresh, neutral space with the smells, but also sounds come into play. Like all the senses really come into play when creating this space that you're presenting buyers. So maybe you have soft music that you can play throughout, or just even from a speaker in one room, just nice, soft, whatever. It just adds, it takes people, to a nice place. Like the spa music, when you're in the spa, like it sounds so good. And like, it's the whole thing. Like we don't want it to be a spa, but it's the whole thing.
And the number one smell you don't want to smell is cat. That is and so if there's a cat smell and you're trying to, hide it with a candle, that's a big no. Cigarette smell, that's another big one that people try and cover up with.
We have to neutralize and get those scents out of there.
Do an ozone treatment or something, but oftentimes it's in the furniture and it's in the walls and it's in the carpet. So definitely check the smells, the smells in your place, and take care of that if it's an issue.
Yeah, for sure.
But people don't always smell their own homes.
That's right. You get what is that commercial? You get nose blind to it because
that's a good one.
It's what you smell all the time. Like that's just how it smells, and you don't think that it's good or bad or indifferent. Like you don't even notice that it's there. So
that's always a tricky one to bring up when you're doing a consultation, but you gotta address the elephant in the room.
Well, and that's the thing. If we don't bring it up to them, like we just said, they may not even be aware that it's there, and they want to know these things. I've found over the course of the last few years, like people want us to tell them because they want to address it. And if we don't tell them, they're going to get it in feedback from people who don't want to buy their smelly house.
That's right.
We might as well tell them so they can address it ahead of time.
Exactly. I had this guy. I do a lot of older gentlemen.
I think there's a lot of older gentlemen moving right now
that need help. So gosh, his basement was just smelled like mold and mildew, and the carpet was like 50 years old, and so the smell was just down in there. And I finally had to address it with him, and he said, "Oh, I didn't notice that. It was so." I had to address it just to make myself feel better.
Right.
If he chose not to do anything about it, that was on him. The house eventually sold, but it did take a while because I think there was some old funky smells going on in there.
Yeah. Wow.
I know.
Yeah. People don't know a lot of times. So that's maybe, ask your realtor if you're trying to stage yourself, like at least ask your realtor what they smelled when they first walked in, so that you have a third party that, can help you with that. Okay. Moving on. Mistake. We're up to number 7 already. Colors, using bold or unconventional colors. So let's talk about why neutrals are better for staging, and maybe some color schemes that we have that just are, that are effective, that people like, which with staging, that's pretty easy, I think. But neutrals are better because then anybody that comes to visit can envision their own furniture in the space. That's the whole point, right? If you've got a red wall that only goes with your blue and red striped sofa, like they're going to be like, oh, well, that sofa works, but is my furniture going to work in here? Right. So having the neutral palette, no matter what furniture, no matter what type, no matter what color, whatever, they're going to be able to envision their furniture within that neutral space.
Right. They're not shocked and overwhelmed by like the wine color in my in my last client. I mean,
right. Well, and that's a good point, because plus it's detracting, besides them not being able to see their furniture in the space.
Right.
Now they're not noticing that amazing window because they're like shocked by the wall color. Yeah, we want them to notice all of those amazing parts of the home.
Right.
And if there's shock factor, they're going to be shocked, and they're thinking about that. Oh my God, I have to paint. It's an objection also, like, oh, I've got work to do.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll give us a better deal. So already they're trying to cut the price because they have work to do. They're anticipating the price is going to be way higher than it actually would be for you to paint the wall.
Right.
So you're losing money both ends.
I just had a client, did a consultation last week, in fact, and it's a log cabin, beautiful home, just been remodeled, the kitchen and the master bath. I mean, it really is amazing. And then, as you know, typical log cabin had these giant, amazing windows looking out on, you know, Pikes Peak and all this.
Wow.
And the color she painted, it was like a robin's egg blue on the interior walls. And I was just, of course, I recommended she paint and neutralize. And boy, she, again, the same lady as the lamp, she gave me some pushback, and she said, oh, I just painted that and I'm not going to redo it.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to stay. Yeah. And really, it's this robin's egg blue in a cabin. Yeah, really didn't go with the whole vibe of the place. So, you know, she's not going to paint, and she's going to make whoever moves in paint. And I do think the house would show better without this more of a neutral color.
Right.
So now we're going to bring in some furniture for that room, and it's going to have to be really, really neutral because we are working with this blue on the interior walls.
Yeah. So on that note, is there any time that you're okay with a color in a room, or when you don't recommend paint? Like what are colors that kind of work that you've seen? And I mean, I know I've seen a lot of primary bedrooms that maybe have an accent wall, and maybe it's a really nice blue or a green or
navy
and it looks really great. And I may not always recommend that they paint it.
Absolutely.
So what's your thoughts on that?
I agree. It really depends on the rooms. I mean, accent walls were a big thing. They're kind of coming back with wallpaper and things, but so I'd say like a nice navy, maybe a dark green, but the primary bedroom, I like to have that as neutral as possible. And then additional bedrooms, I don't always insist on the paint because most of the time they're going to be a kid's bedroom and they're going to want to paint the color the kid wants or make it look a little more. So those additional bedrooms, I don't always insist on them repainting, but
I agree.
I do think a lot, just real, like a nice gray, of course, that's everybody's big favorite, but it's totally going out. So, you know, whites, different colors of whites and taupes and beige, always a good beige. And,
beige.
You know, that kind of look is much better than a dark brown wall, which I'm staging a house on Friday that it is a mountain house, but the family room has a dark brown color in it. So
I had one like that actually out east, kind of in the boonies, even beyond me. And they had dark, just chocolate brown wall next to this big stone fireplace, and the color of the wall made the fireplace look even more dated than it was. And she didn't want to paint, but I recommended this paint, and she's like, that's gonna look terrible, everybody's gonna want this brown color. I'm like, she painted, and she texted me when she was done. She's like, Stephanie, I didn't think I was gonna like it, but it looks so nice. And it even pulled the fireplace. It pulled some colors out of the stone. And so it just made even the fireplace felt more updated, even though they didn't touch it. But just because that wall color was now this nice neutral white-ish of color. And it made such a difference.
I think a lot of times I think that these sellers they don't understand why we're recommending the paint change, and they see nothing wrong with their paint color. And so we're not telling them this just because we don't like it.
I want you to work a little bit.
Things because there's reasoning behind it. So yes. It really is an important thing to do. In fact, I have a master bedroom in this house with the brown wall. I just was remembering it's kind of got a whine behind the bed, and I might have to message them and tell them they should consider painting, because it's the accent.
Yeah,
but it's a dated color. So I'm going to remember to message them and, hey, get over there and paint that.
Yeah.
Before I bring this stuff in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, color makes such a big difference. But you're right. I think a lot of people don't understand, and they're like, "No, that's a nice color. It looks great." It does, and it's a great color for you and your family, and you chose it. And we're not knocking that, but we know, based on our experience, that buyers want the light, bright, neutral colors, and they don't want to do any work the minute they move in.
And it's fascinating, isn't it? How many people think, oh, well, they're going to want to paint it their own color. Everybody says this to me. Yes. Oh, I'm not going to do it for them. They're going to want to, paint their own color. Well, yeah, but that may not be in the budget. They just bought a house. So to be able to move into something neutral and then think about paint maybe next year or the year after, is really how they have to change their mindset there.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about that. They don't want to have to go pick carpet. They don't want to have to go, paint rooms before they move in.
I try to put sellers in the buyer's position. Oh, are you looking for red walls in your new home?
Great idea, Steph.
Right? Or are you wanting something neutral? Do you want to paint before you move in or within the first 6 months because you hate the color that's on the wall?
Right.
Neither do your buyers, right? So think about what it is that you're looking for and do those things so that you can present your home to potential buyers the same way you want homes presented to you.
Beautiful.
Thanks. Okay. So color, decorations, the balance of decor. People either do too much. We kind of talked about this at the beginning.
Yeah.
They don't pack enough stuff up, so there's too much decor, or on the other side,
a lot of little things.
Yes, or they pack everything and then there's nothing, right? There's this balance.
Yes.
And it's a little bit. I mean, like a bookcase does not need to be full of books, but we want some books kind of scattered around. We want maybe some vases, maybe a picture frame of a lake or whatever. Like there needs to be some things that welcome you in, and people don't want to see bare naked shelves, and they're going to wonder, what are they going to do with that? But if you've got something on it to show them how nice they can look, they'll be like, wow, there's these great shelves, right?
Right. Highlighting the asset of the house, the bookshelf, is built-ins or whatever. Yeah.
Built-ins. Okay.
Oh, the cleaning.
Yes.
It really is astonishing how, and I feel bad mentioning it, but men in particular.
Yeah. Everybody has a different idea of what clean.
For sure.
But we have to get on the same page because buyers have a high expectation of what clean is.
And they look everywhere. I mean, they don't want to see vents covered in whatever the heck that is up there. Light bulbs with the dust on the top and fans just coated with black goo.
And if you're not that person that is a super good cleaner, hire a professional because they do it all the time and they know what that standard should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you don't have to worry about it. And plus you're going to be tired from all your packing and all of your other things. Just let a pro come in and do it.
It really does make a huge difference because you don't necessarily clean the way that your house. Oh my gosh, my next door neighbor moved out last night. I can't even imagine. He was a hoarder and he left an entire huge pile of old furniture and paint cans and his water heater and I mean so much stuff outside of his house. I can only imagine how he left the inside, and I'm sure he left it filthy for the new buyers. How nice for them to come in and.
So then now they have to get a professional to come in probably before they even move in, because they're not going to want to be dealing with all of his stuff.
And I don't think he's providing that from the looks of what's in the front of the yard.
I don't think that's on his radar.
No.
So don't neglect the deep cleaning.
Right. Think about your buyers and what they may want and how they will feel coming to their new house and it looks like crap. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Finally, another mistake is overlooking the minor repairs and the maintenance. Like people want a well-maintained home. And so they need to know that it's been well-maintained, because the banister is secure and the doorknobs are all secure. Like all of those little things really aren't so little, because it speaks to how you've cared for the home.
Exactly.
And if they think you haven't cared for the home, then why would they want to buy it? If the cosmetic stuff's not taken care of, then maybe the air conditioning
what else is looming in the basement?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So and minor repairs are super important too, but I feel like maintenance even is like, it has to feel well maintained.
And how often? I mean, I'll tell you what, it blows me away all the time that people will not do anything to their house for 26 years, my neighbor, and, expect to make a lot of money. Well, gosh, that house needed so many things. He sold it $100,000 under what he could have gotten. It was that bad. But
and that's not helping anybody in the neighborhood. Not that he cares, because he's not in the neighborhood anymore, but.
Right. So take care of these things as they show up. Don't wait till 26 years down the line and you have to do it all. That's not gonna be very profitable for you. Take care of it, when it needs to be.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's our 10 mistakes. Recap.
That is.
Don't leave too much clutter. Don't depersonalize completely. No, wait, let me do this again. Mistake number 1, leaving too much clutter. Mistake number 2, not depersonalizing the space. Number 3, poor furniture placement. Number 4, keeping oversized or mismatched furniture. Number 5, inadequate lighting. Number 6, ignoring the ambiance. Such a fun word. The ambiance. Number 7, using bold or unconventional colors. Number 8, over decorating or under decorating. Mistake number 9 is neglecting the deep cleaning. And mistake number 10 is overlooking those minor repairs and the maintenance that has to happen. Anything else to add?
No, well, for today, that's the top 10.
That's the top 10. Yeah. Yay. Very good. I think that's it.
All right. Well,
anybody has questions, comments, whatever, comment below. Let us know what else you want to hear about.
Yes,
and
please give us a like or a share or any of that, because we want to know what you want to know about.
That's right. Let us know. Okay. We'll talk to y'all soon.
Thanks for joining us today.
Bye, Kandice.
Bye, Steph.
Thank you for listening to Stager Savvy, insider secrets to stage your home and sell it for more. We hope you've enjoyed our discussion on home staging and gained valuable insights that you can apply to your own real estate journey.
If you have any questions or ideas for future episodes, or would like to learn more about our services, please feel free to visit our website, stagersavvy.com, or reach out to us directly at stagersavvy@gmail.com. We're always happy to help.
And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast to stay up to date on the latest episodes. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, and it helps us improve our content and reach more people.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.